Hello everyone. Today we are going to study about hazard analysis and critical control point. Haccp is a management system in which food safety is addressed through the analysis and control of biological, chemical, and physical hazards, from raw material production, procurement, and handling to manufacturing, distribution, and consumption of the finished product. Assemble the Haccp team. A Haccp plan is to assemble a Haccp team consisting of individuals who have knowledge appropriate to the product and process. The team should include individuals from areas such as engineering, production, sanitation, quality, and food microbiology. Describe the food and its distribution. The Haccp team first describe the food. They consist of a general description of food, ingredient, and processing methods. The method of distribution should be described along with information on whether the food is to be distributed frozen, refrigerated, or at ambient temperature. Describe the intended use and consumers of the food. The normal expected use of the food. The intended consumer may be the general public or a particular segment of the population, infants, individuals, the elders, etc. Develop a flow diagram which describes the process. The purpose of a flow diagram is to provide a clear, simple outline of the step involved in the process. The scope of the flow diagram must cover all the steps in the process which are directly under the control of the establishment. Verify the flow diagram. The process The Haccp team should perform an on-site review of the operation to verify the accuracy and completeness of the flow diagram. After these five preliminary tasks have been completed, the seven principles of Haccp are applied. Principles Haccp is a systematic approach to the identification, evaluation, and control of food safety hazard based on the following seven principles. Conduct a hazard analysis, determine the critical control points, establish critical limits, establish monitoring procedures, establish corrective action, establish verification procedures, establish record keeping and documentation procedures. After addressing the task discussed above, the Haccp team conducts a hazard analysis and identifies appropriate control measures. The purpose of hazard analysis is to develop a list of hazards which are of such significance that they are reasonably likely to cause or illness if not effectively controlled. A critical control point is defined as a step at which control can be applied and is essential to prevent or eliminate a food safety hazard or reduce it to an acceptable level. The potential hazards that are reasonably likely to cause illness or injury in the absence of their control must be addressed in determining CCPs. Establish critical limits. A critical limit is a maximum or a minimum value to which a biological, chemical, or physical parameter must be controlled at a CCP to prevent, eliminate, or reduce to an acceptable level the occurrence of a food safety hazard. Established monitoring procedures. Monitoring is a planned sequence of observation or measurement to assess whether a CCP is under control and to produce an accurate record for future use in verification. Establish corrective action. Important purpose of corrective action is to prevent food which may be hazardous from reaching consumers. Where there is a deviation from established critical limits, corrective actions are necessary. Establish verification procedures. Verification is defined as those activities other than monitoring that determine the validity of the Haccp plan and that the system is operating according to the plan. Proper identification of the hazard, critical control point, critical limits, and instituting proper verification procedures. Establish record keeping and verification. Generally, the record maintained for the Haccp system should include the following: a summary of the hazard analysis including the rationale for determining hazard and control measures, the Haccp plan, Listing of the Haccp team and assigned responsibilities, description of the food and its distribution, intended use, and consumer, verified flow diagram, Haccp plan summary table that includes information for steps in the process that are recipes, the hazards of concern, critical limits, monitoring, corrective actions, verifications procedures, and schedule, record keeping procedures. Thank you.